Today, you will begin writing your DARE essay. This is a culmination of all of the topics we've studied about during DARE, integrating writing and organization, thinking back to a reading response. Structure and voice will be very important on this essay. Just to review the topics of a reading response, you always want to go back to restating the prompt, thinking about what your focus is, establishing main ideas, supporting it with information and evidence, and then going back to prove your argument and making personal connections to it. Although this is going to follow a little bit different format, all of these will be integrated into your writing. The DARE essay, this is the structure for it, is found on page 23 in your DARE book. So you can go back and reference this page as you begin writing your report. The essays will be shared at the DARE celebration. 2 or 3 from each class will be selected to be read out loud. My DARE report, let's go over the requirements. This is the time for you to review your DARE notes and to think about all the things you have learned in DARE. Take a few minutes to look through your DARE planner and to read your journal entries. Think of the things your officer has taught you and what you have learned about being safe and responsible. Think about what you have learned to make safe and responsible decisions for yourself. You have learned a lot. Now you will be writing a report or essay about your own experience in DARE. Be sure to express your thoughts and ideas. What I learned during DARE, how I have used the DARE decision-making model, how I plan to use what I have learned to make safe and responsible choices. The following guidelines will help you prepare for your DARE report. There are 3 sections. Introduction. Start with a great first sentence. Your first sentence should interest your reader, so they will keep reading. You may want to begin with a thought, a question, or a surprising statement or fact. Body. Use the topics above to develop 3 well-organized paragraphs. Give details and specific examples about what you have learned, how you are using those skills, and how you plan to use them in the future. Conclusion. Summarize or restate your ideas and thoughts. This is a good place to make a personal statement. All in all, this will actually be a 5-paragraph essay if you're following along with that structure. You will have an introduction, 3 well-organized body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Some of you might have first read this and thought DARE report, oh, I could summarize this in 1 paragraph. That is not an essay or a report. It needs to be developed, supported, and thorough, integrating your voice. Start off by thinking about what you learned and why it's important. Take a few minutes to just do a brainstorm back and jot down some of the things that you have learned and the importance of it. Refer back to the DARE decision-making model. When we go back and look at the topics, one of these talks about the DARE decision-making model. You can see, be sure to express your thoughts and ideas, how I have used the DARE decision-making model, and how you plan to use what you learned. Before you start, think about how you're going to organize your DARE essay. Some ideas to think about what you have learned. You've learned about effects of alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, consequences of drinking, smoking, and over-the-counter and prescription drugs. The DARE decision-making model, an acronym: define, assess, respond, evaluate. How do you plan to use what you've learned in DARE? in regards to peer pressure, resistance strategies, how to say no. I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of an introduction that I think is going to impress you and motivate you within your own writing. Clank. That is the sound that I sometimes hear outside my window at night. The rattling of handcuffs, the locking sound, the sinister thud as the door of the car is closed. I live on the corner of Lake Cook Road and Pine Street. Our house's thin windows let in sounds like these, even when they are closed tight. I'd say that about 6 to 7 cops pull into my street with their lights flashing each month. Usually, the siren isn't blaring, but it is still disturbing. Lying in bed at night with the lights flashing, the megaphone saying, "Pull over, roll down your window," the eerie silence when the police car is gone. Having nothing to do, I sometimes think about what happens to the victims. Whatever it is, it still gives me the shivers. I never want to go to jail because of that. This is an impressive introduction. Notice how this student decided to start with onomatopoeia. Draws you in, gives you an idea about what is happening. Look at some of those word choices, like clink, rattling, locking sound, sinister thud. And those are just in the first couple sentences. You can imagine the thin windows letting in the sounds. And it goes on, lights flashing. This is a great scene. It is really setting the scene and leading into the importance of dare and why it's meaningful. I do not expect to see an introduction anywhere similar to this. This is very unique to this writer. But I do want you to think about how you're going to set an introduction that conveys the importance of the topics you are learning in dare. That is your focus. And then it should transition now to dare. I'd never thought about the dare program until this year, but I like the message that it gives. I've learned lots in that class. It's not all, "Hey, kids, don't do this or you'll go to jail," but we also learn. I never knew that there were more than 200 known chemicals in cigarette smoke, or that alcohol causes memory loss and slower reflexes. And it goes on. So think about how you're going to organize this now that you have the freedom to do your own essay. And you could see it is 5 paragraphs. I used the DARE decision-making model, the organization of it. So use your handbook, use your resources, plan it out, and then I want you to start typing out in a Google Doc your DARE essay.